Laz, there's been another Heroes of the Storm huge balance update. What the heck? We just keep getting new shit every couple months. The game is, you know, spicy as hell. I almost wonder if it's a little too spicy because based on what I've heard, I just played some matches and I didn't know overall, but after a little bit, I realized, wait, there's some crazy changes. What? Hold on a minute. What does that say? All quests that can lose stacks will never cause the player to fall below milestone threshold. Okay, so I guess that means like the basic Kael'thas and Thrall rework, how once you get to 20 or once you get to 8 stacks or whatever it is, once you lock that in, they changed that for a lot of heroes. Is that what that's referring to? To be more like the new, like in the last patch, Kael'thas and Thrall? What else we got? Pinnacle rewards are now named Mythic Rewards to be more Blizzard feel. So mythic-y. Okay. The following summon units lose health each second. Creep Tumors, Demon Lieutenants, Demon Warriors. Whoa, this is crazy. All summons are gonna lose health each second. Total health and duration has been adjusted to compensate for this. What does that mean? You know, like, because before they had a duration, so have they been given more duration now because they lose health, or like our summons weaker now? What does this mean? I imagine it means summons are weaker. Structures now prioritize summon units when there are no remaining minions. Okay, so this just makes like the summoner strat eat up turret aggro stronger. Summon units no longer take half damage from structures. Didn't even know that was a thing before. Did y'all know that was a thing? Comment below if you knew. XP Globe pickup sound is now played when killing a minion that instantly yields XP. Okay. I didn't. Alright, whatever. In general, watchtowers will now reset to neutral after 45 seconds of not being occupied. Whoa, I played so many games today, I did not realize that. That's crazy. Volskaya Foundry, what did they change? Triglav Protector basic attacks increase from 50% to 100%. Oh my god! See, I've always found Volskaya Industries is one of those maps in like previous years. You know, they've changed a lot in the last few months, but in most years that I've played the game, I found that the Triglav Protector was one of the worst objectives to fight over in the game. I find like in most of the life of HOTS, the Triglav Protector is sometimes it's more worth to split push than to fight over the Triglav Protector, you know, as how the game has felt before. So this is doubling the damage it does to structures, so maybe that's completely different now, actually. That's crazy, actually. Wow. Gonna have to completely differently look at the way I look at that map. Before, like, you know, as an Abathur main, very often will I, rather than help the team in the team fight over the point, you know, control the point, you get the objective, I rather just, because that can take a long time fighting over that point. And since the whole team usually goes there, I didn't think the objective was that good. Usually what I would do is just take a fort, take a keep while everybody's destructed. But now it's double the damage to structures. So, or what else is here actually? Struggle basic attack damage decreased. A slight decrease, but it still does way more. So it's not double damage to buildings, but it's close to double damage. Basic attack scale increased from 25% to 50% with 2 players. So there's a lot of math going on here, but definitely the Triglav Protector got buffed against structures. We could tell that, you know. It went up from a quarter to 50, so its auto attack damage effectively doubled because you always have 2 players in it anyways. But they reduced the basic, so it less than doubled. But less than doubled because they reduced the basic damage, but then they increased the bonus from having 2 players, which you always have. So it doubled, but not quite doubled because they took off, you know, what is this, 10, 20%, 15%, minus 15%, and then the double, but then double the damage to structures. Overall, it's a huge buff to the Trig Law Protector in terms of pushing. Warhead Junction. Burn duration is now displayed. Displayed. What the fuck is that word? Is now displayed on structures affected by Warhead. Okay, whatever. The burn thing is something they changed in either the last patch or the one before. It's a pretty new feature. Heroes, Azmodan. So this is how I realized there was a new fucking shit, because I just played Azmodan in ARAM. So let's see what all they gave to Azmodan. Now deals 50% to non-heroes. Whew! Whew! That's an enormous nerf. That's crazy for just like regular gameplay, at least. And ARAM, you know, I didn't really notice it. But in regular gameplay where you're trying to like clear complete fucking waves with a Q, that's massive. Upon reaching 225 Annihilation, Globe no longer deals reduced damage to minions and mercs. Okay. Alright, that's interesting. It's kind of like a Kel'Thuzad, but just towards neutral shit. Or not neutral shit, towards NPC shit. Window to kill minions for Annihilation increased. Alright, so it's easier to get stacks, but you do less damage with no stacks. Demon Warrior. Their damage has been increased from 32 to 53. Holy shit, Demon Warriors got crazy buff. That's like almost double. Oh my god, and apparently they were going to make it do half to heroes, and they were like, nah. But it deals doubles to minions. Oh my god. So they nerfed the Q until you get stacks, but made Demon Warrior crazy good at pushing. No longer have a duration. Okay. So that's what they're doing. They took away durations. Instead, they lose health. No longer have immolation. Didn't even know they had that. Now it has 2 charges. See, I noticed that. I was like, I don't think this had charges before. Wow, that's crazy as fuck. Wrath. Now provides... The fuck is Wrath? 1 star for every 2 basic attacks. What was this before? I can't remember what this before, but this is a weird basic attack Azmodan. What the fuck? You know. Art of Chaos. Extra, okay, so they nerf the fuck out of... I think this is probably the one that Globe gives extra from heroes. 50% nerf to that, that's crazy. Bombardment, amount of bombardment time will last from 4 to 3. I don't know what that is either. Master of Destruction, amount of annihilation gained from 2 to 1. Okay, so Art of Chaos was a mana regain and extra annihilation. 4 annihilation from hitting heroes, now it's 2. What's bombardment? After casting Globe, also has basic attacks with extra range and can hit 3 additional targets. Hitting heroes with disempowerment grants 1 annihilation. What'd they change it to? Okay, they just made it last as long, or as auto attack has been done. Master of Destruction, amount of annihilation. So they just nerfed all of his level 7 talents. Just made it so whatever you pick, you're getting stacked slower. Although, yeah, there's not really... They just nerfed the fuck out of the Q, right? They made it so the Q is less good with stacks, and then they made it all of the level 7 talents, which give you more stacks, give you stacks less slower. So the Q is much weaker now throughout the early to mid game. And even late game too, because they changed the level 20 talent, which we're about to get to. British Vanguard now slows the attack target by 30%. What did that do before? Just gave them extra health, but now it also slows. The fucking Demon Warriors are strong now. Added a lot of buff to Demon Warriors and nerfed the Q. Level 16 Hell Rift. Oh, that's a huge nerf. 75% to 35%. What's Hell Rift? Okay, so because they buffed the Demon Warriors, they nerfed the All Shall Burn Beam Warrior buffing thing. So this seems like an enormous nerf. It's not as bad as you think because they buffed the fuck out of the base Demon Warrior. It still probably is a bit of a nerf. And now they changed. This used to be when you have max globe stack, annihilation stacks, you get extra globe damage. Now they changed it to being unlimited range, which in a way is nice. You know, I think this is best for if you have more than 225 stacks of annihilation now, because we know that 225 stacks of annihilation makes it so we're not doing 50% less damage. Because attacking globally with Globe of Annihilation, the thing with the Q is the longer the distance you aim the Q, the longer it takes to get there. So the easier it is to dodge. So if you're going to put that on heroes globally across the entire damn map, they got to be pretty bad to miss it from a super long distance to not be able to get out of the way because of how long it'll take to get there. But against minions, they can't dodge, right? So, but this is a level 20 talent, so hopefully by level 20 you have 225 stacks, and then you can just clear minions across the entire map. So this is interesting. Definitely a macro talent versus what it was before was a micro talent against destroying heroes, and now it's better for Q builds to clear. So pretty much Q builds are less good against wave clear in the early game and are better against wave clear in the late game, but worse against hero damage in the late game. So the huge pops are different now. Deathwing's attack damage has been hugely nerfed. Deathwing now switches forms only from landing. What? So you can't do it unless you fly in the air? And then when you land, you choose which form you are? Or every time you land, you just switch forms, you can't choose which one? What? That's insane. The Q has been nerfed, the fire damage. Incinerate, I think, is like the big circle around him. Been nerfed in how often you can do it, but it hits harder when you can. Lava Burst is like when he's in the ranged form and he makes the little circular zone. Huge, like 5 things change from that. What is all this? There's so much to fucking read. Cast time, so it comes quicker now. It did take a long time to come before. Cooldown greatly increased. Cost greatly increased. Damage slightly increased. Damage over time from 6 to 7, slow increase. So it's a much harder, quicker hitting ability that you can use less often. This is more bursty now and less kind of sustaining rangey. Onslaught. Remember what that is? Is that like the fucking jump? Yeah, it's probably the jump and bite. Earth Shatter. Earth Shatter is like the line that goes and stuns people. It comes quicker now. Cataclysm has a quest now. Damage heroes with Molten Flame to gain 1 stack. Gain 50 stacks for killing a hero. Upon reaching 2,000 stacks, Cataclysm now deals 2,050% damage to structures and minions. I am the Cataclysm. What the fuck? Okay. Mythic quest. As soon as you in the late game, you can just destroy buildings with Cataclysm like it's the fucking World of Warcraft Cataclysm fucking cinematic where he's busting buildings up. That's crazy as hell. Dragonflight. Okay, this is big because now Dragonflight is how you switch forms. Cooldown delay after taking damage or dealing or taking damage increased from 4 to 6 seconds. Okay, so you gotta be out of combat for longer. And the cooldown reduced to 15 seconds! Damn! So that's the only way he can change his forms now, but he can heal himself much more often, is the trade-off from that. I think this is a huge buff, honestly. Personally, I prefer to stay in one form when as I'm Deathwing rather than switching every couple seconds or whatever. So if you can fucking heal yourself every 15 seconds and then just, you know, sit in whatever form, sick. That's crazy. But they greatly nerfs his auto attack damage. This is an insane nerf right here. So he's more sustaining now, but he hits less hard, kind of. And then there's all sorts of talent changes. What is this? Dragon Soul, Heat Wave, yeah, whatever. I'm not reading this shit, bro. I'm not a fucking Deathwing playing. None of it is kind of reworky. It's all just kind of number changes, so I don't really care. Lightning Rod, range reduced by 0.5. Whew. That might be a big false stat nerf, actually. Time increased. Ooh, Lightning Rod is much worse now. Wow. Let's go auto attack, I guess. Jaina's got a new trait. Frostbite. Deal ability damage to chilled heroes. Upon reaching 12,000 damage, unlocked improved ice block, which allows her to become temporarily invulnerable. Didn't she already have something like that? Mythic Reward. Upon dealing 30k damage to ice cold, granting Jaina protected and stasis. Allows Jaina to move and cast while ice block is on. What? That's the most insane thing I ever heard in my life. You deal 30k damage and you can move and cast while ice block is on. How have I not seen this today? That's crazy. Oh my god. They made her root less good. They made Ice Lance less good, and they made level 20 water elemental talent less good. But this is fucking crazy, man. What the fuck? I want to go play some Jaina. I want to move around and cast in Ice Block. What the fuck? Ugh, that's nuts. Convection is even better now. Oh my god. Oh my god. It was already pretty decent before when they made this change. This is nuts now. Whoa. Changed Kerrigan's Ravage quest. Kill enemies killed in a narrow proximity of Kerrigan. Provides stacks. Minion kills give 1 stack. Hero kills give 7 stacks. In a narrow proximity of at 100 quests, 100 stacks, gain 125 ravage damage, and heroes now provide 14 stacks on kill. I thought you said 7 stacks. Heroes kills 7 stacks. Heroes give 14 stacks. Oh, after 100 stacks, you gain stacks quicker. Okay, I see. At 250 stacks, gain 200 ravage damage. The kill window for receiving a free ravage charge has been reduced from 1.5 to 0.75. I don't know how the stack thing worked before, honestly. I probably read it at one point and forgot, but interesting. I don't know if this is a nerf or a buff, honestly. I don't know how much extra damage it gave before. Muradin. Perfect Storm quest removes. New quest. Basic attack heroes affected by slows or stuns provide 1 stack, and stuns provide 2 stacks. At 50 stacks, Stormbolt pierces to hit an additional target. And Muradin's basic attack reduces the cooldown of Stormbolt by 0.5 seconds. Whoa! At 200 stacks, Stormbolt's range is increased by 50% and width by 100% and pierces all targets! Oh my god, that's crazy! That's a crazy Muradin buff, everybody. Dwarf block got nerfed. Boy was tanky as hell. He probably still is. Give him the axe. Move from 7 to 1. So what's at 1 then? Instead of that. Because if you take something out of 1, what else is supposed to come into 1? You know what I'm saying? Sledgehammer. No longer increases Stormbolt's cooldown reduction. Now increases Stormbolt's damage to non-heroes by 500%. Wow. Stormbolt just fucking slaps now. Perfect Storm is now a level 7 talent. Dies within 3 seconds, reset the cooldown. Can only procure once every 10 seconds. Wow. Wow, that's actually really fucking good too. Dwarf Launch got a little bit of a nerf. Whatever. Mountain King, new Thunderclap and Dwarf Clap. Oh my god, Thunderclap and Dwarf Claps get an extra charge as level 20. The Rewind Guard moves. Honestly, this is cooler. This is cooler. I like that. Murky been rechanged too. Now gets a 35% shield for 10 seconds on reviving. Okay, better to die, I guess. Egg regenerates quickly instead of having a shield. This feels like a nerf, because like if somebody finds your egg, you just want to place a new one down anyways, right? You'd rather have a tanky egg than a regenning egg. Slime now applies its debuffs to structures and deals half damage to structures. Not sure. I feel like that's probably better than worse. Pufferfish damage reduced by 20%. Oh, that's a huge nerf. Detonation time reduced though. It's less huge, but it's still. I still think that's a pretty big nerf. New quest. Kill slimed enemies or hit them with pufferfish. Provides 1 stack per minion. 5 stacks per hero or structure. Oh, for structure? At 200 stacks, basic attacks, basic abilities now deal full damage because now apparently they deal less. At 5 stacks, or no, sorry, Mythic Reward. At 400 stacks, Murky gains 50% health and increases inside. So like the being happy to live thing. Egg hunt taken away. Shell game. Murky can now place 2 eggs, but randomly revives. That's cool. Okay. Cooldown placing an egg for 30 seconds, but goes on cooldown if either egg dies. Alright, that sounds fun. I don't know whether it's good or bad, but it sounds fun. March of the Murlocs increased by 4%. Yes! That's my favorite talent in the whole game, bro. I love March of the Murlocs. Woo! Even though it's some stupid ass number like 4, I'll take it. Eggshell. Murky gains a shield equal to 35% of his health upon placing an egg or when one of his eggs dies. Okay. Different. Fish tank. This is like when he heals, when he goes into the stasis bubble. Less healing now. Feels like an unwarranted nerf to me, kind of. Wrath of God. Reduce the amount of time to deal damage over 5 seconds to 4 seconds. Little nerf. Big Kahuna talent has been removed because it's now baked into his kit. So Big Kahuna got removed because this is now baked into his kit as the mythic reward, like we were just talking about. Faster Fish is what took its place now. Detonates 80% faster. Whoa! That's actually crazy. But it got nerfed. Does less damage now. Making Inky. Cooldown reduction from 2 to 1.5. Hey, buff. Oh my god, never-ending Murlocs. I can't wait to go play some games as Murky and just fucking... Does this mean it's still never-ending, like never-ending Murlocs used to do, but now it also does this? I think that's what that means. Mercenary Queen, basic attacks, instantly apply 3 stacks of black arrows to Mercs. Whoa! Sylvanas is crazy good at Mercs now. Nerf Thrall pretty decently with this. Not like a huge amount. This is probably like what, like 5% nerf or something like that. This is auto attack damage, which is big for him because Wind Fury, one of his abilities, is based off of auto attacks, right? So a 5% nerf to that is effectively a 5% nerf to his E or whatever Wind Fairy is. Mythic Reward damage bonus. Okay. Made Crash Lightning better. Mythic Reward also allows to Crash Lightning to bounce to the same target. How the hell does that work? So if you cast it on somebody who's alone, it just hits them a bunch of times. Like if there's a target with nothing around, you cast Lightning Bolt or Chain Lightning, sorry, on it. You know, it bounces however many times, 5 or 6 or 4 or whatever. It will just bounce 4 times on them, so it's just better on against single targets now with Echo of the Elements. Okay, so they're gonna reduce Tyrande's mana, which is insane. She already has so many problems. They were gonna make her that weaker by that. Sentinel Shot, mana increased by 5. Okay, that's better than taking away 50 mana. New quest with Lunar Flare for stun. Hitting a hero increases his damage by 5%? Up to 250. Increase the range by 30 after hitting 10. After hitting 20. Sentinel pierces. After hitting 45. Oh my god. This is crazy. Whoa. Tyrande is badass now. And it restores mana per enemy hit. +5. Wow. This is sick. I'm gonna be sick now. A little bit extra mana for all of her abilities, and they were thinking about reducing her pool because Lunar Flare now gives her mana back. Whoa. Okay, that's cool. And then they changed a couple of her talents. It's mostly numbers. Little things, it looks like. 7-1. True Shot Aura no longer passively increases her damage. Now applies to... Okay, it's an activation thing. Loon's Gift. Because they took this thing out of there. Wow. So Lunar Flare has just went crazy. And now you can get extra Sentinels. Whoa. Okay, bug fixes? I don't care. Well, this is an interesting patch. I'm excited to go try out Murky. I'm excited to go try out Tyrande. For sure, that Tyrande changes was crazy. Muradin too, actually. The Muradin changes seem pretty nuts. Man, oh man. Deathwing too, like I can't decide if it's a nerf or not, but kind of an interesting new way to play that he can go up and heal himself more often, so he's not worried about being low HP. But you know, you're forced kind of to play both styles of Deathwing by flying. That's kind of cool to me too. Excited to try that out. And yeah, Volskaya. I gotta keep this in mind now as my avatar player and not caring about the objective. Volskaya objective matters a lot more now. Cool, man. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. What do y'all think about the changes? Comment down below. And love you so much for watching, and take care.